Hey guys, welcome to Work Away. I am Allie.
And I'm Patrick. We are hitting you guys right from Adelaide again. Baz's house.
Still in Baz's house.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking quite a bit about our last adventure of the Adelaide roof climb. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Adelaide comedy situation. But mainly, we want to thank you guys again for tuning in. You guys have been incredibly supportive through our audio challenges and now our video challenges. I hope you've seen some evolution. Hope this is way better for you. We're going to be making the effort to be a little bit more real and a little bit more raw as we get our feet under us. Just kind of showing you guys who we are and learning to be us in front of you.
Yeah, this is truly a part of the journey, and you guys you're in it. We're not hiding anything from you. It's a work in progress. We're learning as we go. But it's fun. It's cool. We've had a really good time doing this. And once again, it's all because of you guys and your support. So thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah. Keep subscribing. Keep tuning in. We love you.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the first thing you want to talk about? So I got to go. Do you mind if I kick it off?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So comedy here in Adelaide has been very generous, very open to me. Being a dude just traveling through, I got put on kind of last minute, and shout out to Craig Egan for doing this last minute at the Rhino Room, the biggest night of comedy here in Adelaide. They get headliners. The show was incredible. I was so thankful that he was able to put me on, and I was first up after the intermission, and Al, I bungled it. I biffed it.
I mean, it's all perspective. It's all relative. But it was a tough room.
It was. The audience was primed. They were laughing, and honestly, I was feeling good. I was amped to get up in front of a crowd, and then I went up, hit my first joke, and it went okay. And then I hit my second couple jokes, and I tried to adjust to what I thought the audience wanted, and I think it picked up from there. But I was expecting to really kind of crush because I've been doing all right up until this show. And then I went up on a dude who was generous enough to give me a spot, and at the end I just wanted to feed myself feet first through a wood chipper.
But you have to understand too, this was a high stakes comedy show. This was the biggest one in Adelaide, am I right?
Yeah,
one of the biggest ones.
The audience was there to laugh. I'd say it was the lowest stakes there was, you know?
But for you, it was important that you did a good job.
Yeah.
And so you doing a medium job felt like a bomb because I was in the audience. One of our friends, Henry, was in the audience. There were other people there who were laughing. But in comparison to the other comedians, it just wasn't at that level. To me, it didn't feel like a bomb, but I can understand why it felt like a bomb to you. But as an audience member, I think you got to understand that you are your own worst critic as a comedian.
Well, I'd say if I wasn't at the level of the other comedians, I'd say I'm an accurate critic.
Maybe. And I think that's all up for a little bit of judging.
That was your words.
I disagree.
You were like, well, you weren't up to the level of the other comedians. And it's like, well, you're right. That's exactly how I felt. And I felt like I should be throwing myself into the New Zealand volcano.
I guess, is that the definition of a bomb?
Well, the definition, you can kind of feel it when you're on stage. You know if you're kind of in the pocket. You know if things are flowing, if you're getting the level of laugh you're expecting, when you're expecting it, and when it doesn't happen like that, you feel it. You feel it down to your core, and the gears start turning. You go, okay, what do I need to change here? Do I need to be more animated? Do I need to do things? And I started to, and it was just a push and pull. I got heckled. I've got a joke where I say flip-flops, and I guess fucking Australians, they don't like flip-flops. They like the word thongs.
Every single time you've used that joke, someone has said thongs in the middle of your act.
Yeah, so I just said, yep, thong is what your mother took off from me last night. Got any more corrections? fucking asshole.
And they still, even after you did that, you went on with your joke. You said flip-flops, and someone still was like, thongs. Like, they're really adamant about that word.
Yeah, they suck.
It's the same word. Like, I don't like...
They suck, I suck, I hate myself. I was so mad. I felt like that was my shot, and I kind of blew it. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, obviously you didn't blow it that hard because you still have 2 shows this week.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's obvious that I didn't blow it that hard because the other shows, I feel like I blew it.
Oh, love. Love.
I mean, you're not saying that I didn't, so it's pretty clear that I fucking bombed.
No, I mean, I guess when I think of a bomb, I think of just someone going up at, let's say, the Colorado Room back in Fort Collins and getting no laughs at all with a completely full crowd. I guess to me that is a bomb when you truly just don't make anybody laugh. But you were making people laugh. I don't know. So maybe just as an audience member, maybe I just interpret bombing as something completely different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can tell you I've bombed before, and that felt like a bomb. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't really know what else to add to that.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for trailing off on that one. I'll just sit and I'm bombing now. This is you know what this feels like? Well, you guys listening at home, watching this, this is what it feels like on stage.
Where you just stand and you don't know what to say. Oh yeah.
Well, I knew what to say. It's just they weren't after it.
Yeah.
And you're no help right now.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm bombing right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing. This is my first bomb.
You gotta speak up, love.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, cool. First episode that we had. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So first episode, if I remember correctly, we talked a little bit about Sally, our first workaway experience, and honestly, I listened back at it, and it just kind of sounded like we were complaining, and we didn't really justify why we hated her so much.
You know when people go through something really traumatic and someone asks, oh my God, are you okay? And they say yes. And it's very clear that they're not okay. That was kind of what it felt like. Like we were so traumatized emotionally and mentally after what just happened. And we were like a day out of her place when we recorded the first podcast. So the first story that came to mind was a story about cleaning, which honestly also just shows that we don't clean that much if that's the first thing that stood out in our mind.
But honestly, I'm still mad about that too.
He's still mad about it. But there was so much more that happened that we just didn't even touch on. We were already suppressing those memories. We were just already. So now we have literally 8 to 12 hours of distance between us. We have a couple weeks that we've had to kind of marinate in it.
8 to 12 hours. It's not we have like about 1,000 miles of distance.
I actually don't know how many miles at all. I couldn't even venture a guess.
Yeah, about 1,000. About 12 to 15 hours of drive.
Yeah. So we're far enough away now where we're safe. So I feel like we can get into it a little bit about what actually happened.
Not if Sally has her way.
That is
Tell
true.
Her, yeah. From what we've learned, there ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough.
I've already had all my nightmares about it. I don't want to revisit any of those memories.
Yeah. So let's dive into Sally again a little bit more.
Yeah,
let's justify our hate.
A little bit, yeah. I think I need to set the scene a little bit more in terms of when I started to realize that we had fucked up. Yeah. And for me, that was one of the days I had to go into the yoga studio and take photos of a yogi. Just for the website, just standard headshots. And immediately, I didn't even know this girl. And she was like, oh, how's working with Sally? And I'm like, well, actually, we're living with Sally. We're doing a workaway program. We're working in exchange for accommodation. And she cuts me off and she's like, get out. For your own mental health, you need to leave right now. And it was like that scene from the movie Get Out, where the black guy at that dinner party, he has the camera flash, and all of a sudden he comes back and he's like, get out. Like that was like what the moment was. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, maybe this is serious, because a complete stranger just told me I need to leave the situation. But then there was the Airbnb. debacle.
Oh my God! Yes, these 3 sisters, I believe, from Chicago, varying from probably 18 to 25 years old. They were staying Airbnb in one of Sally's rooms.
Mm-hmm.
She had me change the doorknob for them because they wanted a lock on their door, pretty rightfully so. Yeah, that's pretty standard. So I changed the doorknob on the door right before they got in, and then I gave them the keys. And there were 3 keys. There were 3 girls. I gave them each a key. And then Sally said, no, I need one of the keys. I need you to go get one of the keys from the girls because I have to show that room to other Workaway, Gumtree, or Airbnb people. She was trying to show the room while their stuff was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And these girls were like, the fuck you will. Like, don't show our room when we are staying in it.
Yeah.
We don't want strangers walking through. You're not getting the keys from us.
Exactly.
We're not letting you go into the room that we're paying for.
Yeah.
While we're not there. And we got texts all night from Sally, like at 1 o'clock in the morning, telling us to kick these girls, telling me, I want you to go in there, collect the keys, and if they don't give you the keys, I want you to kick them out. And I was just like, Sally, I'm not your bouncer.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not kicking these poor girls out on the day that they got here at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
They've paid for this room.
They're giving you money.
Yeah.
And they have valuables. They have cameras. They have laptops. They're here on vacation from the U.S.
Yeah.
So I totally understood. And Sally just did not understand. She was texting me in all caps, just like one after the other, like it's just long ass text messages at 1 a.m, at 2 a.m. And it was crazy. And then she started texting the girls.
Oh my God. And they were just like, what are you doing? Then she was like, get the fuck out. They're like swearing at them. They were sending us the screenshots of the message. And Sally was going crazy.
Yeah. So I told the girls, I was like, you need to report this to Airbnb. You need to take screenshots of these conversations and send it. And after an hour or so, they decided, you know what, we're done. They were supposed to stay a couple of days. They ended up leaving the next morning.
Yep.
They're like, screw this.
They send all that information to Airbnb, and Airbnb canceled her host status.
Yeah.
They won't let her host anymore.
Yeah. And what's nuts is I ended up looking on Airbnb at her place because I was curious how she was advertising it and what the other reviews were. And apparently she was deleting her profile every time she got a bad review and re-uploading it as a different profile to the point where people were commenting on it saying, stop deleting your profile.
Yeah.
This is a scam.
Yep. She's cameras all over the place that she claimed didn't work.
She lied to us about that.
Yep. True. She's from mainland China. The surveillance state.
Yeah. When we were taking a tour of her studio, she said, I have security cameras, but they're all broken, which I was like, that's weird. They're all broken, all of them. And I told one of the yogis this. I said, I hear she has security cameras here, but they're broken. And they were like, she told you that? They're not broken. She just sent us a screenshot of one of the cameras to call us out on something that we were doing. Like we cleaned the wrong lamp or something or turned on the wrong light, and she sent it to us. And I was like, oh my God, okay, so now she's lying about watching us. Because we spent a lot of time working in that studio.
Oh, tons. Yeah. So once that happened, I stopped feeling bad. She had us on her tablets, like taking pictures of things in her studio to help with processes and things like that for her yogis. Mm-hmm. Her yogis who she had called simple-minded.
Yeah.
Like, Sally, I don't know if your yogis are simple-minded.
She's
like, no, I know my employees. They're very dumb. And I was just like, oh boy. So anyway, I'm taking pictures and starting to build this process manual of how to open and close the yoga studio and all those things. And I noticed a bunch of screenshots of WhatsApp conversations. And we've been communicating with her via WhatsApp primarily. So I was like, oh my God, are these our conversations?
Yeah.
Like, what is she doing with these? And why is she screen capturing them?
Yep.
So it turns out they weren't our conversations, but because she was spying on us, I'm going to be honest, I didn't feel that bad spying. It's like counterintelligence doctrine, counter surveillance. You're going to spy on me, I'll spy on you a little bit too. And her conversation with a guy we'll call Eric.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
It looked like there was something romantic between them, or something she hoped would be romantic between them. And whatever happened to them personally, she was saying, I'm going to come to your country. I'm going to come to your work. I am going to post these conversations all over your social media. I'm going to tag your family. You block 1 SIM card, I buy 10 SIM cards. You block 10 SIM cards, I buy 1,000 SIM cards.
That's literally, I was going to read the message because it is so bananas.
Yeah, do that.
But this is literally word for word. I will go to 7-Eleven to buy SIM cards now. Each SIM card is $30. You block 1, I buy 1. You block 2, I buy 2. You block 10, I buy 10. You block 100, I buy 100. And for each SIM card WhatsApp number you block, I will add it to the fees that you have to reimburse me for chasing you. As you are blocking me, you block 1,000 SIM cards. I spend 1,000 times $30. That's $30,000. You decide how much. And we were like, oh my God. She's like actively harassing someone, whether it was a former workaway person or whoever. We were like, oh my God, she could do that to us.
Yep. So we found old Kartik, my man.
Oh my God.
We made some good deals, and we got out of there like a puff of smoke.
We did.
Woke up in the morning and we said, Sally, we're done. Keys are on the counter. Goodbye. And she texted, what happened? Why? Where are you going? Come back? All of those things. And we didn't answer a single one. And that was that.
Yeah, I sent everything to Workaway headquarters. I was like, this is the stuff that she's been texting us. These are the timestamps she's been texting us. She's taking advantage of us. We're only supposed to be working 3 hours a day. It's now turning into like 8 to 12 hours a day, just based on how much we're talking to her. I don't feel safe based on these messages that we just found. I feel like she could be, she could also harass us. It was just very, very stressful. And it was the week of my birthday. And we had plans to go out, but I didn't get to really enjoy it because the whole time she was texting us.
Yeah, and we enjoyed it.
We still, of course, we enjoyed it.
That hurts my feelings.
No. It's just like, it was like a dark cloud. Like, I was just always thinking about it. I was stressed about it. And I was like, we were supposed to do that for 2 months.
Yeah, not a chance. We couldn't last 2 weeks.
Right. Oh my God. I was losing sleep. I was becoming irritable. We were also doing keto, so I was already grumpy and malnourished. So it was just a really, really, truly bad situation. And I ended up getting drinks with one of the yogis, and she was telling me that this is totally normal. Every yogi that she hires, they quit within 2 months. And, one of the former marketing people that they hired, I guess she pissed them off so much that they changed her Facebook profile picture to like 3 deers banging each other. Like,
that's hilarious.
So it was like Sally changed her profile picture, and it was just this like horrible. So obviously this isn't just us. This is a trend. And we're honestly just so glad to be out of there. But man, that was like just emotionally very exhausting week.
It's worth noting, Sally isn't her real name. So you guys can't look her up by her name. That's not, we figured for, I don't know, legal purposes, not that anybody really gives a fuck or is watching this, but if she's a psycho, she could have tracked us down. And if there is a legal gray area, we wanted to make sure we weren't in it. And the second thing is, if you guys are doing Workaway, make sure you guys have a backup plan.
Yes.
We didn't, and we had to suffer through Sally for probably an additional week after we realized how crazy she was.
Yeah.
While we figured out what our next move was going to be.
I was afraid she was going to come to one of your comedy shows because she knew you did comedy.
Oh, that would have been very funny.
And so I was just stressed and paranoid. Every time I went to a show, I was like, oh my gosh, is she going to be here? Is Sally here? Where is she?
I'm sure the showrunners would have been pumped that I brought more audience.
I would have been so scared. Like, I was just so scared. Every time I got on the metro, the train, I was like, am I going to see her? I was freaking out, man.
Yeah. That was pretty fun.
It was whack.
So that's the full. Do you have any advice for any workaway people going through the same thing?
Just make sure you maybe have in writing what is expected of you, because Sally she said one thing. She said, hey, you're going to be in charge of my marketing. You're going to be in charge of my content creation. But it ended up being so much more than that. Like I said, she was asking us to kick people out of her Airbnb. She was asking us to do stuff that we didn't really agree to, and also the hours. So that was the thing, is once I complained to Workaway, I tried to go on her profile so I could show them what we had agreed on, but her profile was disabled because other people had complained. So I had no written proof of what we had agreed on. I only had the phone conversation before we left on what we talked about. But you need to just be able to protect yourself, and you need to be able to have substantial proof that things are going bad that you can send to Workaway. So that's my biggest advice, is get it all in writing up front. I don't know if it's a contract that you both sign or something, but outline exactly what your roles and responsibilities are, what your hours per week are, so that they don't try to abuse the system, because she definitely did.
Oh yeah, she would have continued to abuse us if she could have.
Yeah.
And if you're out there judging us for snooping a little bit into her the screenshotted conversations, fuck you.
Yeah. This is survival.
I wanted to know what I was dealing with. And that's surveillance 101.
Yeah, and we didn't break into anything. She gave us access to everything, to her iPads and whatever. And we were just very nervous that she was screenshotting our information. And we didn't know. She was
definitely watching us via security cam.
She did, and that was unnerving enough as it was. I was like, oh my God, why would you lie about that?
All's fair. We started snooping as well. So at that point, it's level playing field.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just bad. Well, I don't know. I feel like I was pretty good at it. I feel like we learned just what we needed to about Sally in order to figure out that we needed to leave quick.
Yeah, exactly. Because it would have only escalated from there. And there was another Workaway person that was there the same time we were, who left like 2 days before we did. So it was just, I was like, oh boy, soon it's going to be just us. And who knows what she's going to do if it's just us there with no witnesses.
But it's been pretty smooth sailing. From there, we met Kartik, helped us out again. Shout out to that dude. Then we got our van. We came to Adelaide, met Baz, who's been, again, awesome. We went out with Baz.
We did.
That crazy Scott can drink.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, we went to a whiskey place.
Yeah, we should give it it's like a speakeasy. It's hard to find, so if you can find it, definitely go in. It's a bluesy speakeasy called Bad Dog.
Bad Dog.
And a bartender was awesome. Cool vibes in there, and we drank and we drank and we drank, and then I had a 2-day hangover.
I haven't drank like that in a while, especially being out here. We're trying to save money, but we decided to celebrate. It was like our first real night in Adelaide. We had just met a bunch of new friends. But boy, oh boy, Scottish people, man, they can drink so much.
They get muffed up.
Yeah. And he was fine. Like, he had so much to drink, but he was sober the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. And then went to work the next morning.
Yeah.
No problem.
God, I remember when I could do that. When I could just 2 hours of sleep, no problem. I'll just waltz into work, happy as can be. I'll just drink a little Gatorade and I'll be fine.
That was my entire year in Korea.
Yeah.
Drink until 4 a.m. and then wake up at 6:30 for PT.
Oh my God. Oh, PT. I remember one time in college, I went out every single night in college. I don't know how I survived. I probably have low-key permanent brain damage, honestly. But there was one night that we obviously snuck alcohol into a party. So we put vodka into a water bottle.
Is this a ROTC? Why are you sneaking alcohol into it? That's where alcohol belongs, is in a party, right?
Yeah.
So why are you sneaking it in?
Oh, because I was underage.
At what kind of party?
It was just a house party.
Oh, okay.
It was just like a Wednesday night house party. I was going with friends, so we were trying to sneak in alcohol. And it was vodka in a water bottle. And I had PT the next day. And I came home, I only had like an hour or so to sleep, but it was the PT test. So it was the test that you take in the Air Force to determine if you're physically fit.
Yeah, physical training is what PT stands for.
Yes. So it's just like a 1.5 mile run, minute of sit-ups, minute of push-ups. And I was so hungover that I had forgotten that I put vodka in that water bottle and it was half full. So I thought it was just water. So I filled the rest with water. I went to PT. I did my 1.5 mile run. I chugged the water. I sprinted to the bathroom. I vomited everywhere.
Oh my God.
It was the most painful experience. Oh my gosh. I'm about to gag just thinking about it, honestly.
Awesome.
But
Great.
but yeah, that was man, military life, college life.
Yeah, it's a hard drinking life.
It is. You gotta, and especially in the Midwest where it's cold 10 months out of the year, you gotta do something to have fun. So
Tell you, I can't do it anymore.
no, once you hit 30, it's like, see ya.
I kind of don't want to either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just it doesn't agree with me like it does, like it used to. I don't have as much fun doing it.
No,
I feel the depressant aspect of alcohol. At least I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it just takes so long to recover now. It's like, man, if I have plans on Monday, I can't go out on a Friday anymore.
Yeah, but even while I'm getting drunk sometimes, I don't enjoy it like I used to. It's not the fun party that it used to be when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just thinking about what it's going to be like, how painful it's going to be. I'm realizing that I'm going to hate this for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm ruining my day.
And yeah, you're right. It doesn't get you amped anymore. Like pre-gaming, remember we used to just take shots and that would just get you to a level where you're like, whew, I can go all night. Now I take a shot, I'm like, I want to go to bed. Yeah. My head hurts. Like I just want to be alone. I just want to.
Yeah, I start to isolate a little bit.
Yeah, it's totally different. But
all right, you want to talk a little bit about climbing the Adelaide Oval?
Yes, that was a really cool thing we've been able to do.
Yeah.
The Adelaide Oval, it's a cricket stadium here in Adelaide.
Yeah, so it's cricket, soccer, Australian rules football. They do like a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, well, they do this really unique stadium tour where you actually get to climb on the roof. You clip in, and they have this little track that you can just walk along, and it's cool. Apparently, you can watch games from up there.
Yep, no drinking.
Yep, you can. No, yeah, we had to take breathablizer tests before we did it.
Yep.
I was like, oh man, I haven't done this in a while.
When's the last time you did? What have you been doing? Do you have a DUI?
No. But yeah, we went just climbing along the roof, and I did a little bit of filming for A Taste Made Travel a bit. And it was cool. It was a lot of gear to lug up. I had my stabilizer, I had my camera, I had my GoPro, and it all had to be attached to me.
Yeah, you couldn't bring anything loose, so you had to empty your pockets too. No
Yep.
watches, no nothing. Anything, like your sunglasses had to be clipped, hat had to be clipped. I'm wearing the hat if you guys can see. Adelaide roof climb.
Check it out.
Everything had to be clipped because if you drop anything, smack somebody on the head, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it was a really nice day. The weather was perfect, not only for climbing, but for filming, no harsh light. And it was a lot of fun. It was the first video I've produced since being out in Adelaide. And it's been really cool. I've had a couple of opportunities to create content out here for the comedy scene as well. And it's great. It's been a really good time.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about the shooting aspect.
Shooting.
Yeah, give us some advice for content creators.
Honestly, I got so good at lugging gear around in the military because, you as combat camera, you have your weapons, sometimes two, you have all your body armor, you have your ruck, and you have your camera, lens, all that good stuff. So I just got good at really learning how to navigate my gear in a tight space. And the Adelaide Oval, it was kind of a tight space. I had to have it all on me, attached to me at all times. But we were going through like little, almost like enclosed tunnels, it felt like.
Yeah, the catwalks that were butted up against the joists and the beams of the stadium.
Yeah. I actually hit my head on one of the bars. I was walking backwards. I was trying to get a shot and I hit the back of my head. But yeah, no, it was really good. Equipment. That's one thing that I always tell new creatives and content creators is just get good with operating with less. I know as a professional photographer, I used to be a newborn photographer where I would go into hospitals and I would carry in every lens I had, every flash I had, every battery I had, and I ended up lugging so much stuff with me. You just can't do that when you travel and create content. You got to really limit it to your top 2 lenses, maybe one camera body on the shoot, maybe an extra if you can fit it, but you just got to get good at navigating, your smaller GoPro, smaller drone, and being out here and traveling. That really taught me how to just take less with me and not be so dependent on the equipment aspect, because equipment's good, but honestly, it's all about the content.
Yeah, sorry, we got to readjust the camera here. It shuts off every 30 minutes. Oh man, did that go back on?
It's on.
Okay, it's on. So I'm gonna stop talking and let Al pick back up. She was talking about gear and talking about climbing the oval. Take it away.
I mean, that's a really good environment to learn how to operate with less. And I could say that a million times, but I think when you're traveling, that's the most important, especially with van life. That's the one thing that I regret, is bringing way too much stuff clothes-wise. I brought way too much.
Yeah, I wear like 4 t-shirts.
Yeah, I should have only brought 4 t-shirts, but I brought 30 because I don't know why. So when you travel and you're creating content, getting good at just shrinking down everything, it's only going to pay off in the end.
Yeah. Anything else? You mentioned earlier, talking off camera, brought up some good points about comping.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. We've been so lucky since coming out here. A lot of organizations, they understand the value of marketing and content creation. And so they'll offer services for free in exchange for whatever content you produce. Not every organization is like that, which is very interesting, because it shows that they might not necessarily be educated on the value of content in a social media age. So you just have to be good at selling why this needs to be an exchange, why you are giving them content in exchange for free stuff.
Well, it's highlighting your value, right?
Yes.
Your value versus the value of whatever it is they're offering you.
Absolutely, because everyone's going to go off of past experiences. They're going to say, oh, well, I gave this to an influencer and I didn't get much payback from it. So you have to say, okay, well, I'm not an influencer. I'm not going on my personal social media and posting about it. I am giving you an actual thing that you can use to promote your business, which is different in value. Normally, you would pay this much for it. Your service is significantly less. So if you give that in exchange for free, you're going to be essentially making money with the product that I give you. So you just kind of have to break it down, and you have to negotiate. And that's something that I tell people all the time, especially in a business aspect and a job aspect. Know you're worth enough to negotiate. So even if you're talking about like a salary for a job, I think a lot of women, especially, they go into a new job and someone will say, okay, I'll give you, you're asking for 75, I'll give you 80. And that seems like a good deal. But they're always, it's a business, right? They're always going to lowball you. Yeah. So you just have to understand when to push it a little bit and say, well, I understand that you paid this person 75, but here's the experience that I have that beats that. And here's something that I can give you that's either better or more than what this person gave you. So as a result of that, I think I deserve 85. And honestly, I've done that enough in my jobs where it's worked out.
Damn, I haven't. I don't think that's a woman thing.
Yeah?
I think that's just how much value you put on yourself there.
Yeah.
So I'd say you're better at that than I am.
Okay.
So you calling me a lady?
No. I'm just, I guess, I don't want to talk politics, but, talking about...
Oh, let's not.
Okay.
Yeah, because then I'm going to have to defend my point, and then we're just going to
No. It's just, I think it's always good, regardless of who you are and how long you've been doing something. If you know that you can bring a certain service, don't shy away from asking for more money or asking for free stuff.
Yeah, value yourself.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people, they just automatically devalue themselves because someone else says, oh, well, I gave this project to my marketing intern and they did it for $5. So why should I give you $10? You know, like they do that a little bit, obviously, because they're trying to lowball you. So just be confident in who you are, the quality that you can deliver, and then actually deliver that quality, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
What do we want to move on to?
Ooh, man, we did get a question this week.
Oh.
Yeah, let's pull it up really quick.
Okay.
I think I wrote it down.
Nice.
Okay. This one's from Mark S. And the question is, you guys have been long distance for a while in your relationship. What was the lowest point you've had during that time?
Ooh.
It's kind of a heavy one.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Good thing we gave the prep talking about that. We wanted to be more real.
Yeah. This...
Okay, so I guess I'll kick it off.
Okay.
Lowest point was probably this last go around. So Allie was deployed to Germany for like the bulk. What was it? 6 months?
4 months.
Four
and a half.
Yeah. Felt like longer than that. And it just happened to coincide. I don't know if it was the buildup of how often we've been doing the long distance, if it was the perfect storm of a bad job, but I started to hit a personal low point. Like it's the first time I realized that I was depressed, and it was like a weird thing. It was I was isolated a little bit. I didn't have comedy or my friends to fall back on. My job was sending me far away and disconnecting me from a lot of what I relied on to keep myself kind of regular. I had my dog. I brought him with me, much to the chagrin of my former employer. They gave me a ration of shit for that. But I was holding on by a thread and I didn't realize it. Yes, if I'm like, I'll be completely honest. I was having like thoughts of suicide. Now I wasn't like making plans of it, but like they were just popping into my head. And after a while, I realized it. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that that's what they were. I didn't realize that I was in this like very depressive state. And like I keyed into it and I was like, oh my God, this is unhealthy. How long have months I've been feeling like this? And I'm just now realizing it. You know, I think I had a lot of barriers to get to that point, to get over, to understand that point. You know, my time in the military, did a job full of tough people who did crazier things than I did. You know what I mean? And it felt like I was weak. So I think I was resistant to acknowledging those thoughts and where my headspace was. I was very resistant to that because it made me feel weak. Made me feel like I was a pussy. That's if I'm being completely honest. It made me feel pretty shitty. But like once I started to kind of key into that, like I was able to not trust my brain, which I think was important for me to start getting over it, or start understanding it and start making changes in my life to help better my health, my mental health, because I couldn't keep going. I couldn't keep going like that. So I started to look at, okay, these thoughts I can't trust. You know, I shouldn't trust my brain when it starts poisoning the well, because it will. It'll start telling me things that I just shouldn't trust. And so I started to like, okay, I'm going to increase my water intake. I'm going to make sure I'm going for a run. I'm going to be attending to my dog. And I'm going to try and be a better friend. You know, I'd isolated from a lot of people. I wasn't calling my family. My hours were so crazy that I wasn't getting to talk to you much. You know, I was alone and I would stew. And I wasn't reaching out. I didn't have comedy every night. See my friends, something to keep me going. I was just bogged down. And I kind of hit my breaking point. I called Al and I told her how I was feeling, and I didn't want to keep doing it like this. And she said, "Oh my God, okay. And she came back 2, 3 days later. She was back home.
I mean, that was the hardest thing I've ever gone through. Because we've done distance for like, wow,
Yeah,
year and a half.
Yeah, hey.
And that was really hard.
It was hard. I mean, we're all right.
Yeah.
That was
I mean, being so far away and knowing that someone you love is going through something like that, like it's hard to know what to say. It's hard to know what you can do. And I remember like asking, like, how can I help? Like, what can I do? Like, I'm so far away, the time distance, like or the time difference, it makes things hard. Things were crazy with my job. I was going TDY. I was traveling like every week, going to a different country. I was doing Tastemade stuff. And I got very lost in that. I almost got like tunnel vision with work. And I felt like I have to just keep working for this to be better. You know, like if I can just keep going down this road, I've been doing this for like the last year and a half, this will all pay off. And for me, I think I just completely lost sight of you, for one, and I lost sight of myself. And as a result, that damaged us and the relationship. And I think that was a huge wake up call for me. Like knowing that was all happening, it
took me
a lot.
It took me a second to realize what was happening. You know, it's hard not to trust yourself. It's hard not to trust with the thoughts your brain's just giving you. You know, it's hard not to give into that. And it took. I mean, I don't know how long. Way longer than it should have for me to just kind of my brain is my enemy right now. I need to beat this thing back down.
Yeah.
I need to be taking care of myself because I got lost so much in the same thing. I can work my way out of this.
Yes.
If I was pulling 17-hour days out in Utah, and I will work my way out of it because I'm so used to just doing that. So I didn't blame you for doing that, for acting that way. And I can't speak highly enough of what it meant to me. And when I just called you and we finally got to talk and I told you where I was and said, okay, I'm coming back now.
Well, I talk a lot about not having satisfaction in the jobs that I've had. And I mean, that's because some of them are just very high stress all the time. But that's not to say that I felt that way toward the people I worked with, specifically my leadership, because that really was the reason I was able to come home. The leadership that I had out in Germany, really I'm thinking about one person in particular. She made it possible for me to do that. And I remember asking the question, I like broke down over the phone and she didn't ask any questions. She was like, go home. And so I was able to come home.
Love. Is it worth giving her a shout out?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, Davina. Davina Peterman. She was my boss. And I remember I couldn't even say why. And that's usually the first thing people ask is, oh, you're leaving early. You have all these things on your plate. Like, why? And like, she didn't even need to know why, which honestly made it easy because what do you say?
Oh, I mean,
like how do you put into words what the last like few months of a deployment were doing to you, were doing to your family? And I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Like it truly was a game changer, and it allowed us to come back and like really just promise ourselves that we weren't ever going to do that again.
Yeah, I mean, we made it. learned a whole lot.
Yeah. And it honestly, I think, sounds cliche, but it has made us stronger.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
And it's really set the tone for us being able to come out here and do something that we truly love.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I mean, there's always a silver lining, I guess, but like, yeah, that was hands down, I think, the hardest thing we've dealt with through the distance.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we got a lot of military listeners out there. And people who aren't military probably struggle with a bit of depression, maybe not even realize it like I did. I was just in a fog, and it really just took some hard auditing to figure it out, and like to come to grips with to dispel the stigma internal. And I know how hard that was for me, and I can now empathize and understand how hard it is for others.
Yeah.
Don't just be. I'm not going to tell people how to live or what to do, but if you're feeling that way, the best thing you can do is recognize it, tell the people you love, and start taking care of yourself. Yeah.
No, definitely. And I mean, being so far away, it was very, very painful. But luckily, you know, I had a good friend too, Alicia, who I could talk to and just kind of ask, you know, what can I do? Like, what should I do? Like, having close friends to surround you during those times of darkness are really so important. And man, I just cannot say how thankful enough I am to have that support so that I could come back to you.
Yeah. So, damn. Yeah, we did keep it raw this time, huh?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Sorry,
You'll learn this about me. I just wear my emotions on my sleeve sometimes. But this is something that we haven't really had much opportunity to talk about. So yeah, no, we want to be open with you guys. We want to be raw, and it's a good question.
Yeah.
Damn, Mark.
Yeah. Fuck you, Mark. I don't like you, Mark.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I guess long story short, that's the lowest. That's our lowest.
Yeah. Definitely.
Personal lowest, and I guess relationship lowest.
Yeah. I mean, it's all kind of connected. I mean, you have to take care of yourself to be able to take care of others and the team. And so that taught me a lot about taking care of myself too. Because during that time, you know, I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't working out. Yeah. I was just letting it consume me. And, you know, that just obviously wasn't working. So yeah, no, that was good. It was good question.
Yeah. Or, you know, tough question.
Yeah. All right. Well, damn, let's bring it back. What do we got going on this week?
You've got a couple of shoots for some people in the Adelaide comedy scene.
Yes.
So if you're listening, you're in the Adelaide comedy scene, Allie, professional videographer and photographer. Mm-hmm. I know Adelaide Fringe is coming up, so if you guys need headshots, you guys need 5-minute like promo tape, anything like that, hit up Al. She'll charge you a fee, a fair.
She'll charge you a fee.
She'll charge you a fair fee. It's not gonna be free. And I've got Kim Lee's comedy show at the Brick Room, HQ at the HQ Brick Room. It starts at, let's say, 7:00. Be there, guys. I'll be there doing some time. Baz will be there doing some time.
What day?
That is on Thursday, the
19th.
The 19th.
Yep.
Out with the numbers.
Yep, and then I'll be at Rhino Room just doing some normal video work if you guys need anything done at 7:30 as well on Monday.
Hell yeah.
And then our last day in Adelaide is going to be on Friday.
Friday morning. We're taking off to go down to Port Lincoln to see some great white sharks.
We are. That's our next shoot. So if you guys are listening in Australia and you want to say hi, Port Lincoln, we'll be there. Hopefully Sally is not there.
Yep,
Sally,
we'll
if you're listening, please do not go.
Yep, don't slash the tires of our new home. All right, guys. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.